dance, make it hurt.
What's up guys, Sachintha here. So all of us, we love to have the best gear, the best working setup, the best technology in order to do our work very efficiently, effectively, etc, etc. Yes, if you are doing client work, if you are doing paid work, of course you have to have good gear. But the term best is very subjective. So today's video I'm going to focus more towards producing a content, this photo that you are seeing right now, from a home setup with equipments that I have already purchased, and also with few stuff that I can find from our house itself to add a bit of more punch, to add a production value to it. So excuse the mess behind me. As I said, this is a downstairs of my house. This is the downstairs that I have ruined of my house. This is the tabletop that I'm going to shoot today. This is just a round kind of a octagon, hexagon, I don't know what that is, but kind of a tabletop that I'm going to shoot. I love the wooden texture of this because I think it will match more with the mood that I'm trying to create. And then it comes to lighting. So I'm excited. I have invested on a Godox light. Of course, I will do a complete review of this light in the future, but this is the SLB60W. This is the daylight balanced version, which comes with a battery. There is another version of this which does not have a battery, which is like half the price of this. But then again, since I do a lot of outside client work, product photography, videography, etc, I would need that mobility, so I invested on this. This is by far, I think, the best investment that I have done in terms of this whole YouTube setup, lighting setup goes. So I'm using this, and also I'm having a basic light stand, which I'm sure if you are a photographer or a videographer, you will definitely have this. Of course, this light does not come with that, but then again, I had this laying around, so I'm going to use that. So it is mounted with the basic light stand. This is a 95 centimeter softbox. This is huge. Of course, there is a 85 as well, but then again, this will diffuse and soften the light a lot more than the 85. And then I have this grid. Of course, with lighting, you can experiment a lot of things. You can do it without the grid, with the grid. I found that with the grid, because I'm not using a backdrop today, with the grid, the light spill is reduced. So what you do is you just open this up. So this comes in a Bowens mount. When it comes to product photography, what I found is that the more closer you are to the subject, the more dramatic it will look. So I'm going to put this down so that it lays flat with the tabletop. So this wooden base has a bit of a texture going, the wooden texture, so it has lines that I would like to create as leading lines. To just give it a bit of action, I will just change the lines diagonally. And so once you set up that place, this is the battery that comes with the light. This battery takes about 4 hours to fully charge, and also it will give you roughly around 60 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, of work time. So this is the kind of setup that I will do. So for this video, I'm just going around with 60% of the strength of the light. So let's see once I add a few props to see how the product will look like. So for today's video, I'm going to use beer, the wild apple. So I'll just start placing a few props, and because this is wild apple, I was just wondering whether I could use some real apple as a few props. That would not only give the image a bit of a depth, that would also keep your viewers going throughout the frame, because there are some things interesting to see around the frame rather than just showing the can itself. But then again, if that is something that you're going to show, just the can, you can do that as well. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to create a small bit of a story. So I'll show you a bit of the composition of this image. I don't have two cameras, I only have one camera, so that I'll have to take this camera here and there. Excuse for the shake, I'll just try to put it out from post. Alright, so as you can see, we have, this was the leading lines that I was talking about, a bit of a texture. And then you have, just not to disturb the image too much, but then you have two apples and then two cans of the same product behind. So for this setup, I'm going to use the 50mm f1.8 because you can even do it with the kit lens that you get, that is the 18-55, but then this will give a bit of a shallower depth of field rather than that, because that's a 4.5 and this is 1.8. So I'm going to use this. So in terms of the composition, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot in line with the whole setup, so that there is a bit of depth with the items in the back, because as I said, I am not using a backdrop today, because I want to show you that you can do it with whatever the equipments that you have right now, and that is the main reason why I use this grid, because it will stop the light from spilling to unwanted areas of your composition. So let's see how the photo turns out to be. As you can see, the light is shining from the left side to the cans. So you can, that is kind of a look that I like, but then again, if you want to add a reflection, you can use a board, a foam board, a white color board, or else for my disposal right now, I have a whiteboard which you can actually use. So this will create that shadow. You might not be able to see from the mobile view. So let's switch off the lights and see the composition. This is with the lights off. Of course, once I said the back, I don't have a backdrop, but you can see here the back is black. So that is the look that I'm going for. So now I have imported all my photos to Lightroom and then did a bit of tweaking in terms of exposure, in terms of texture, and also in terms of contrast. I didn't want to do a lot because the whole purpose is to show you guys the perspective changes of the same image when you change and tweak a bit of lighting. So the first image, if you see, this is the image that I took only with the key light, the Godox light. So as you see, the light is falling from the left side of the image, and then the right side is actually darker. And also I need to point out the backdrop. I didn't use any backdrop, but as you can see, because I used this grid, the back is completely blacked out, because this grid will control the amount of light spilling out of the whole softbox. So this is the image that we took with the reflector, the whiteboard that we found at home. As you can see, the right side of the image is a bit lit. Of course, if you are doing brand shoots, they will definitely want their brand to be seen. So using a reflector in such cases will work, because this can has the Apple branding towards the right side of the can. And also I did something different. This photo was taken by adding another light to the scene, and that light was a general household torch. So this light is good because it has a LED panel, and also it is a bit diffused. So what I did was I reflected this light on the whiteboard so that it gives a bit of more light towards the right side of the scene. This can has a golden design. The light will help to pop that up. So there you have it. Of course, the target of this video is to show that you don't need all the equipments on earth to do a photo shoot that maybe get a hit on Instagram. But if, as I said earlier, if you are doing a client job, you can add a bit more punch to it. I would add a bit of RGB, a bit of smoke to really, to create a bit of a depth. And also I would use another softbox with a lighting to create the edges pop. But then we have to start somewhere. That is the most important thing, I believe. I hope you will find this video useful, especially if you are trying to start your product photography career. I'm pretty sure the light is a lot harsh on my face, but then it's a good video, I believe. So let's make it a bit better. So cheers.